All right, so I am back from my epic trip vacation with the First Lady on a cruise in Europe, Spain, France, Italy, Rome. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. And I've got so many pictures. If you've been following me on Facebook, you've seen the picture dump, and that's probably 20% of the pictures I took. I did not want to overwhelm you. And even though each post had 40, 50, 70 pictures, I didn't dump everything. So much, so much in the experience. I've heard if you want to have a good education, travel. And I did not really believe that. It was a good word, phrase, but in reality, it is. You get to experience so many great and amazing things. In Europe, one of the things about Europe is that um, the the concentration of artifacts and of architecture is just overwhelming. It's just everywhere. It is, and so I wanted to share with you some of the things, but I know that some of the things you're probably not going to be interested in because you didn't experience them, right? Some of the things you're probably not going to be like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And I want to give you content that you like, but there's something that happened to me that, that I really think resonates, was kind of cool. It was an experience and a moment that I just want to share. Part of it is because there's so much going on that trip that I will forget most of it. I'll probably forget 90% of it because there's so much. And so by posting the pictures on Facebook, I'll have a memory of it every year. And by doing this video, I'll be able to remember this moment because this moment was pretty dang cool. What was the moment? By the way, before I get into the moment, I am smoking a Sin Compromiso, which I smoked a lot of these on the cruise. I did, and I shared a lot, and some people had never experienced Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust, and now they are looking how to order them because they just love them. They do. Steve doing a great job. So, before I get into that, I found out a couple things about Europe. Coffee is not an option. You having coffee? It's everywhere. It's fast and it is delicious. They don't take any time making it. It's not like going in Starbucks, which we saw Starbucks, but you go into these little cafes all over the place and they got these big, huge machines, and you tell them you want a this and a that, and with espresso, and they just whip it up, make it up, and you got it in 45 seconds with a pastry or a sandwich or something. And those pastries are so good. But coffee is not an option. But deodorant and air conditioning is. We are blessed to have as much air conditioning as we have because most places don't. And if they do have air conditioning, it's like 75, 76. It's not whatever their centigrade or whatever their numbers are. Darn communist. So it is not well air conditioned. You sweat sometimes. But the coffee just so good you don't care. But we were taking a boat tour, the jewels of Cinque Terre. Got to see some great places where the wine and the grapes are on these terraces. These people built houses right on the side of a mountain where the ocean just drops off, and they just carved in little 6 foot, 8 foot platforms and just made steps all the way up the mountain. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty amazing. And there's all this churches and castles and watches and keeps and all these other things. Really, really cool stuff. And we were coming through a place which was a choke point, basically, on the boat. Little boat held 150 people, 2-story kind of thing, choppy water, where there was maybe a quarter of a mile, half a mile between the two points of land, and then you come in and it would open up, and then you got into the rest of the area. And so, wisely so, they set up one of these. Actually, they set up 4 or 5 of these. But this is the one I took pictures of. And that is a World War II bunker. An honest to God bunker. And as soon as I saw that, I told Sarah, I said, baby, I got to go see that. I got to go see that, right? The history of World War II is just amazing to me. And all the stories of all the the chronicles of all the things our servicemen went through to liberate these countries just resonates with me. And to go into a piece of living history and go into the bunker, or at least touch it. I didn't know if it was gated off at that point because I was on the boat. I didn't know if I could get to it because you got to be a mountain goat to get to that stuff. I got me a couple cups of coffee and I made it, but I didn't think about it. But this is, I guess, Italy, and Italy was not on our side. And so I got to go into a World War II enemy bunker. How cool. I tried to FaceTime Steven because Steven's a World War II buff. And I tried to FaceTime him. I did FaceTime Gracie, but I tried to FaceTime him, and it was early in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and he wasn't up yet. So I sent him a message, a video, right? But I wanted to share that with him. But while I was sitting there in this bunker, by the way, crawling into this bunker, the hole was half the size of who I was. And I had to duck down, get in, and I had to stay ducked down. I had to kind of squat and duck walk a little bit. I'm glad there wasn't video of that because it was kind of awkward. And then I sat down at this little bench on the inside. All this stuff's made out of concrete and stone. And I looked through this little porthole, basically about 2.5, 3 foot wide, about a foot tall, and then the wall is 2 feet deep, so it's just like a little channel tunnel. And I looked through there, and I could see what the servicemen would be seeing, and it was frightening because you can't see much. And you know that as soon as they know that you're there, they're going to be shooting everything at you, and that would have had to be unnerving. I didn't see any evidence of attack, like mortar shells had blown up on it or machine gun bullets had hit the outside. So I don't think it ever got seen use, but it was there, and there were people there in preparation for somebody coming around the corner and trying to get in their country. It was a moment. It was a pause. And very organically, I said, you know what? I just want to smoke a cigar. And so I opened up my little Cigar Travador. I looked in there and I rifled around. I had a lot of cigars, and there was one cigar that was sticking out to me that just felt like it was the perfect moment, which was a polpetta spicy meatball, right? In Italy, spicy meatball. Little cigar because it was cramped in there and stunk a little bit. People would put graffiti on the wall, kind of disrespectful. I was going to put a Bob the Cigar Guy sticker on there, and I said, you know what, that's not what I should do. But I did want to mark the moment, and I guess video was the thing that was best. I tried to take some pictures, but the lighting, even though I used my lights, the lighting was just so jacked. I'll put a picture up. You can see, not a great picture. But the cigar was amazing. And so as Sarah was outside, just kind of standing around, waiting for me to have my moment, I was selfish. I took a moment, and I sat there. And I enjoyed the cigar. And I thought about all the people that had to be in positions like that with such adversity coming down on them. And I was thankful for my freedom. I was. It was somewhat overwhelming. It was somewhat amazing. It was. And so I just kind of wanted to share that moment with you. I felt like Steve Saka was in there with me. I'm glad. Okay, don't take this the wrong way, Steve, if you're watching this. I know you're not. I'm glad you weren't in there with me because I was taking up half the room. You would have taken up the other half the room, and we would have had hardly any air to breathe because those things are tiny. Claustrophobic, but it makes sense. So if you ever get a chance to travel, if you ever get an opportunity to experience things, take the people you love. The fact that I had First Lady with me made it so much better. Oh, by far. To see the world through her eyes as well as mine was just one of the blessings that I will carry to the grave. And sitting in that bunker, smoking that polpetta, thinking about my freedom, thanking God for the blessings He's put in my life, was one of the moments that I will never, ever forget. And I don't have to now because I've got it on video. So Be prepared. There's going to be lots of videos about this stuff. If you don't watch it, I don't mind. It's just the rantings of an old man who took a good trip with a great lady. Man, I love her. So I'll see you later. I love you. I really do. Later, Tater. So I'm inside a bunker in Italy. World War II era bunker. What more American thing to do than to smoke a cigar in a World War II bunker? If you're in Italy, what do you got to do? You got to smoke a spicy meatball like the Popetta from Steve Saki. And yeah, I got my fancy hat on. I'll see you later. Man, this has been a great trip. And this bunker is tight and tiny. Crazy. All right. Bye-bye.